The sins of antiquity. Alphino is lost in thought. We must press on with our mission. Tatru, pray return to your duties at the Forgotten Night. Let us go and speak with Sir Aymeric, Lavenza. I worry for his well-being. See, and then this time it says, at the congregation of our knights most heavenly. Instead of, I don't even remember what the other name for it was. It's like the Lord Commander's something or other, or... Oh no, that's a different dude. At first I thought it was maybe Lucia. Although I don't know why she would be there. I know just sometimes they're over there and then sometimes they're here. An audience with the Lord Commander. Yes, yes, of course. Curse those bloody whoresons and piss on their swiving round table. Sir Aymeric.
My friends, I am in your debt.
I'm glad these are voice acted.
Think nothing of it. Your wounds are healing well, I trust.
Some wounds do not heal.
Oh.
The founding. The scriptures, 1,000 years of lies, all to deceive the common man. Nay, our own brothers and sisters. For the blood of the Knights 12 flows within all our veins. You knew this to be true. You knew, and you concealed it.
I should be interested to hear how you came by this knowledge. But yes, you have the right of it. The architects of Ishgard, King Thordan and his Knights 12, entrapped and butchered the great worm, Ratatosker, that they might partake of her eyes and thereby transcend their mortal limits. Upon learning of their treachery, Nidhogg was consumed with a murderous and justified rage. I dare say you know what followed.
The great worm slew the king and half of his knights.
Aye, but Nidhogg was subdued, and his eyes plucked from their sockets by the knights that remained. Their one mistake was to show mercy, for from his brother Hreysvelger did Nidhogg receive a new eye, thus rejuvenating his form and empowering him to embark upon an eternal quest for vengeance.
Whilst Thordan's son Haldreth took one of Nidhogg's eyes and learned to wield its power in defense of his people.
Thus was the first Azure Dragoon born, and ever since that time, his honored successors have risen to drive Nidhogg from our lands whenever the worm has returned to plague us.
I
ask you, my son, will you answer for my sins? Will your son and his son answer for me as well?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
If a man cannot atone for his sins in the course of his all too fleeting life, must his progeny then be held to account? Must every subsequent generation be judged as well? Thorin's betrayal of Ratatoskr was an unconscionable, unforgivable sin. Should we then, as his descendants, meekly surrender ourselves to an eternity of punishment? Nay, say I. I would not see our children sacrificed in a vain attempt to appease an implacable foe. Dragons are not like us, my son. To they who live forever, the wrongs of antiquity are as those of yesterday. No reparations shall ever suffice. This fact alone should serve as ample justification for our actions.
Not
Yet
really.
some refuse to see it as such. For men like you, who yearn to commit themselves to a nobler cause, a more compelling narrative is required.
This is your solution. This is how you protect our people. You have given us a lost cause, a death sentence. With your compelling narrative, you but doom our countrymen to give their lives for a lie.
And they do so gladly. Highborn and lowborn alike are proud to serve, to fight and die for their country. And what would you say to them? What would you tell the wives who have lost their husbands? The mothers who have lost their sons? That their loved ones died for naught? Over the course of 1,000 years, countless men have donned these robes, and every one of them came to accept the necessity of this solution. Once, I hoped you might come to accept it as well. Do not despair, my son. Soon I shall free us from the sins of antiquity, and bring about the change you so fervently desire. If he has spoken with others, I would have their names. Escort him to a cell and question him thoroughly.
Your Eminence.
You saw something, did you not? A vision of the past?
So this is the power of the Echo. Would that it had shown you a finer moment from my past. 'Twas an exercise in futility, as you saw. Faced with the firmity of his conviction and his many ready rejoinders, my words deserted me. To be frank, I am embarrassed to recall it.
A friend once impressed upon me the importance of differentiating between words, deeds, and beliefs. Were he here, I suspect he would judge your father's conviction to be no more than rank, self-serving delusion. Even so, I cannot help but wonder what manner of change he intends to bring about.
I've given some thought to that as well. During the battle within the vault, the Heaven's Ward demonstrated strange and unnatural abilities.
Aye, the manner in which Sir Zephyrin struck down Lord Haurchefant was unlike anything I've ever seen before.
The spectacle called to mind King Thordan and his Knights 12 as they are depicted in scripture, holy powers and all.
Mere fabrications, which have become objects of faith, instilled with the belief of countless devoted souls. 7 hells!
If Lady Iceheart can use her own body as a vessel for summoning, I see no reason why others could not.
Are the Heaven's Ward truly so reckless?
Unbelievable.
As they fled, my father spoke of Aziz La. Though I know not what he intends, I fear no good shall come of it. His ambitions are too great, and his minions too powerful. We must find the Heaven's Ward and stop my father before it is too late.
See, the interesting thing... Oh. I was going to say the interesting thing about what the Archbishop said about, you know, should the sons, you know, and the sons of the sons of the sons of the sons pay for the father's sins is that, you know, and that was his excuse. You know, he said, oh, this is what kind of those that would fall in line, like that's a good enough excuse, but others needed, you know, a grander tale or whatever it was he said. But like, that's what ended up happening anyway. You know, the sons and daughters have been suffering for the sins of the father for 1,000 years because they just wouldn't tell the truth. At least with the truth, there's maybe something they could do. I mean, they may still end up going to war, but I mean, at least the people would know. Mr. Shark, Master Alphino, I, Aymeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights of Ishgard, do hereby entreat the aid of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. All 3 of you. Our aid in preventing whatever it is that the Archbishop intends. And that just made me think again. I remember the line that Alphino said about distinction between whatever and beliefs or something. I remember that line, but I don't remember who he was talking about that said that line. I don't remember now. Your aid in bringing him to justice. Too much blood has been spilled for the lies he perpetuated. No more. What will you say? I shall pursue him to the end of the world if I must. Life for death. I will have Sir Zephyrin's heart for what he did to Orshafon. The interesting thing is, like, as a Dark Knight, that line would seem right, but I don't really see my character say that. So I'll go with the first one. I thank you, Lavenza. I have heard many men make such pledges, but you speak in earnest. Much has changed since our order's founding, but our duty to combat the primal threat has not. If the Archbishop and the Heaven's Word are guilty of the crime of summoning, then Lavenza and I will stop them. I wonder, like, I'm just thinking, like, what if you're a summoner? The crime of summoning. Would that I could join you in the pursuit, but alas, my father's absence has thrown our government into chaos. Ever since the founding of our nation, there has been an archbishop to serve as a guiding light for the masses, a force for stability to counterbalance the High House's ceaseless maneuvering. Convincing the people to recognize the truth of our origins would have been difficult even with my father's support. The road ahead is that much more fraught with peril without it. That's what I love, is that it doesn't just wrap things up in the bow. Like, we're still dealing with it, even now in Shadowbringers. It's less of an issue, I think, now, but we're still dealing with it. Yet walk it we must, for unity is more vital to our survival than ever. After all, Nidhogg's death did not mark the cessation of Dravinian hostilities. Far from it. We will have great need of each other in the days to come. Yeah, and I don't remember how Nidhogg comes back. I mean, presumably it's just he's not dead, but like, yeah, just how he comes back, I don't recall. You may ever count on my lance, Sir Emmerich. To my dying breath, I shall defend Ishgard from the Horde. If I may, Lord Commander, I would like to assist the Scions in their search for the Archbishop. Lavenza, Master Alphino, pray attend me outside. Very well. With me, Lavenza, I believe we have much to discuss. Where could they be headed? And what does Aziz's law have to do with it? In search of the Solil, Lucia appears to have something to say. The Solil was eastward bound, so I sent word to Camp Cloudtop on the off chance the airship passed nearby. Sure enough, Lady Laniat informed me that it had been sighted by her scouts. Then the Archbishop is somewhere in the Sea of Clouds? Or was, not long ago. The airship has not been seen since it disappeared into the northern reaches near the Blue Window. Alas, because the region is firmly held by the Vanu Vanu and not easily accessible from Camp Cloudtop, House Helenar has yet to establish a foothold. We will need not only an airship, but a captain bold enough to risk the Beastman's wrath. Okay, where's Sid? I think we both know the perfect candidate, Lavenza. Let us pay a visit to Master Garland at the Sky Steel Manufactory. I see. Then I will take my leave for now. There are other matters which require my attention. I always struggle with Sky Steel. I don't know why. Like right now it's fine, Sky Steel. Maybe when it's bookended with other words. Who else but Master Garland would be willing to deliver us into Vanu territory? I say we go and ask him first. Yeah, and if I remember correctly, this is what leads into the Bismarck fight. I want to say I've seen those cutscenes relatively recently. Who would I have watched that has gone through it? I don't recall. But I have seen it more recently. I actually kind of regret watching like the YouTubers going through it now. You know, just so I can have a, you know, a more I don't know, just or a less or I just wish I had seen it less recently so it could be more fresh to me. Ah, the dastardly duo. What mischief have you two been getting up to lately? I mean, kind of unseating or dethroning, like, you know, the the ruler of Ishgard. You haven't heard, have you? I hardly know where to start. He was a good man. Sid, have you ever heard of Az's Law? The Archbishop spoke of it before he fled. No, but it's probably some source of phenomenal cosmic power that's key to his plans. Itty bitty living space. From what he told Lavenza, the Ascians tried to tempt him as they tempted Gaius with the Ultima weapon. Even if he spoke true about playing along, I can see him attempting to seize it. As if we needed another reason to pursue him. Well, I'm convinced. The Enterprise is at your disposal. Come to the airship landing when you're ready to depart. It's just as well. After pulling you out of the fire these last few times, I reckon I was due to deliver you into it. Yeah, it's funny. I don't know about it this point in time, but surely by Shadowbringers era, it's like, you know, like you bring a problem to somebody and they're just like, okay, yeah, I'm down. And it's you, like, of course. Into the blue. Alphino must see to one last thing before he departs. Into the fire, is it? In that case, I should inform Tataru of our plans. Pray go on ahead to the airship landing. I shall join you anon. So I was thinking that you needed flying before you could even do this part of the Sea of Clouds, but maybe I'm wrong. And just Sid takes you there. That's probably it. Sid takes you, like, essentially gives you access. And then from there you're able to get the rest of the Aether Currents or whatever. It's funny how you can play something for so long, yet still, you know, completely, like, muck up the details. I heard about your man, Orshafont. Sorry for your loss, Lavenza. Good to see you again, Lavenza. It'll be a pleasure to have you aboard the Enterprise again. The boys have been hard at work preparing for our flight, and I'm pleased to say we are ready to depart. This is when Alphino conveniently shows up. That is, as soon as a certain... Ah. Always perfectly timed. Pray forgive me my lateness. Tataru and I had much to discuss. We still have no news of the missing scions, but she assures me that Urianger and Riol are pursuing promising leads. Come, come. We can continue this discussion aboard the Enterprise. Bismarck will be an interesting one. I don't think I've ever soloed it. Hello there, madam. So you know, I'll be available to ferry you back and forth once the chief charts a course. Deputy President's orders and all that. So maybe, like, once you've done this bit of the story, you can talk to her to get that part of the Sea of Clouds. I've never bothered. I always just go to this dude and then go to Camp Cloud Top, but that's actually good to know if she does take you to, like, what is it, Oxundu or something like that. The others are waiting for you aboard the Enterprise, Lavenza. Shall we get going?
To the northern reaches of the Sea of Clouds, where countless isles yet remained uncharted. In search of a mysterious land known as Azizlar, and the unmasked villain who sought to claim its secrets. Oblivious to the new threat which followed in their wake, they came.
Oblivious to the new threat that followed in their wake. Huh. I'm just thinking of what that could be. Because we're not oblivious to Bismarck, right? We'll keep the Enterprise here for now, but if you need to head back to Ishgard, you can use that standard to signal for an Ironworks airship. Don't worry, we charted a route safe enough for others to fly, unless that Primal shows up. But what are the odds of that, huh? Better than you think. Although we actually bait him, don't we? We'll stay in touch with you, with your Temple Knight friend. Don't you worry. The Enterprise is ready to fly at a moment's notice. Just come running if you run afoul of something you can't handle. I am not wont to run away. I'm sure there's more to it. I don't remember the line from Master Matoya in the Shadowbringers trailer. From here, Camp Cloudtop looks rather far. Ahem. Be on your guard, Lavenza. The Vanu could be anywhere, even watching us as we speak. Maybe that's the threat that we're oblivious to, that's in our wake or whatever. Thank you all for watching this video. Heaven's Word has been phenomenal. If you've enjoyed it as much as I have, please like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And if you want to see me live, the link to my Twitch is down below. Thank you again for watching, and have a good one.